What is up, friends and fans? Jake here to point out every Easter egg, detail, and thingamajig we noticed in the world premiere trailer for the Super Mario Bros. Movie. So let's jump right in. First, we get a look at the icy world of the penguins and their castle served on the rocks. Penguins have been featured in snowy Mario environments before, but they've never had this kind of full-on society, proving that the Super Mario Bros. Movie is not afraid to expand the Mario universe. Next, Bowser's Flying Castle features not one Bowser head, but a second, and I gotta say, the mobile castle airship thing shares a striking resemblance to Bowser's similar contraption in the original Paper Mario. Now, when I think of Kamek, I definitely think of his iconic, geometric shapes that symbolize his magic. If you look really closely, whenever Kamek uses magic, you can actually make out tiny glowing shapes, just like in the games. Next, when the Penguin Kingdom stands up to Bowser's army, we can see that these little guys have teeth. And fun fact, did you know that real penguins actually have teeth? Just kidding, they don't, because that's weird. Looking over now at Bowser's army, we see a blue-shelled Koopa with a pointed spear and spiky helmet, making him resemble a spiny shell. And this red Koopa wears an eye patch, though he later lifts it up to get a better look at the action. And many Koopas are holding Bowser flags, which look exactly like the Bowser flagpoles from the Mario games. But there's more than just Koopas, as we can see Bill Blasters in formation as well. Now, coming back to Kamek, we see him readying magic here, and then the next shot shows the penguins being neutralized by presumably the same magic. But if you look back at the first shot, we see that the penguins have already been captured in the background, meaning that Kamek is using his magic to do something else than the trailer would have us believe. Naughty, naughty trailer makers! In this shot, we see Bowser and a star positioned in some kind of dark void. This could be for dramatic effect or some strangely dark room, but given that we know from Jack Black himself that we will see a musical side to the Koopa King, I'm tempted to think that this shot is positioned at the very end of a musical number in which Bowser will explain his motivation and the world will take on an exaggerated look for the duration of the song, leaving us with this shot of Bowser proclaiming, "Now who's gonna stop me?" before transitioning back to the real world of the film. Now let's talk about Mario. He clearly pops out of a green pipe, disoriented and confused, implying that the Mushroom Kingdom and maybe even the greater Mario world are completely new to him. But right before he pops out, take a listen to this. It's actually the same sound as the theme from the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. Getting back to that green pipe, right above it, you can actually see that this star logo matches up exactly with the same logo above the doors of the Penguin's Ice Kingdom, potentially indicating that these are places Bowser's going to need to go if he's trying to collect all the stars. And this castle in the background is exactly like the end-of-level fortresses in the Mario games. Hey, do you recognize this sound? If you listen closely, you can hear the classic green pipe sound when Mario arrives. Now, right before Mario gets up, we see a yellow butterfly across his head, mimicking the ending scene from Super Mario Galaxy. And more butterflies are seen in the immediate area, which is reminiscent of the butterflies found around Peach's castle in Mario 64. But the wildlife is only getting started. If you look back here in the shadows, we actually get a glimpse of a waddling Biddy-Bud, and later in this overhead shot, we see a red and green Biddy-Bud duo walking around too. Next, these tiny little birds look quite a lot like the little white birds from Super Mario 3D Land. And what's in the rushing river over here? Cheep Cheeps, of course. Now for this next part, you're gonna have to listen closely. I'll try to isolate the sound the best that I can. Did you hear that funny noise? It sounds extremely similar to Strolling Stews from Super Mario Sunshine. Now let's talk about Toad. Just as Mario is pulling himself together, Toad warns him not to touch that mushroom, before correcting himself and saying it's actually okay. We think this is because the mushroom Mario is about to touch looks very similar to a poison mushroom, but with white spots instead of the pink ones, so there's actually not any danger. Anyways, when Mario gets surprised by Toad, he jumps back in fear and, like a classic prey animal, exposes his neck. That is right, Mario has a neck, and he's wearing a shirt with a collar. Next, Mario has another new feature, a pocket in the front of his overalls. I wonder what he's gonna put there. Here's a fun fact for you. The first line we hear Mario speak is actually a line also heard in the 1993 Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Where is this place?
And now in this shot, we get a good look at the Mushroom Kingdom, and you can actually see a faint rainbow hanging over Peach's castle. Serene, isn't it? But let's shift gears to the horrors that Luigi has to face. We see a swarm of dry bones give our green Mario brother chase, but their eyes are actually different from the typically yellow pupils we see on dry bones. Instead, these are red and fiery, making me think it's a possibility that Bowser has somehow gained control of them or put them in a frenzy. We even see the castle that Luigi runs into is Bowser owned, as it has his iconic black flag on the roof. And with that, we have reached the end of the first ever trailer for the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Now, like Mario, I am but a man, so let me know in the comments below if I missed anything, and for everything else in games, you're already in the right place. So just let us explain. I'm Jake, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.